if I have. What is this? Not sure. I was going through my assets. I said, I some of this stuff I don't remember. Did I use this one already? Let me see. Yeah, I think I used that before. Okay, we're all the greatest hits.
Good morning, glory. Say there, stop that yawning. A brand new day is dawning. Pull up the shade and let the sun come through. Good morning, glory. Spend about an hour underneath a shower and keep on singing like the birdies do.
Books of the week, back after a little hiatus. We have a complete explanation for the hiatus, though. Steve was was trying on jeans and modeling, and so that's important. And when I say Steve, I'm referring to, of course, book critic at largest, Steve Donahue, out of Boston, Massachusetts. Hello,
everyone. The actual reason was that my producer went to Acapulco to have some work done, and as you can see, he's owed a substantial refund.
Save your receipts, kids. Always save your receipts.
Always save your receipts.
Well, what we do on this show is we talk books, which is what you'd expect from a podcast generating out of a library with a book critic.
Yeah, it's what you'd expect. It's not always what you're going to get, but it's what you'd expect. Sure.
Have we ever delivered on that promise? I don't know. We'll find out. But the show is structured as such. Structured. I'm sorry. We start.
No, the long-time viewers have been laughing from the beginning. But we're trying to pull in people who can be hoodwinked into thinking that we're professionals.
There may be some newbies out there today.
A library person, a critic. In this
And for you newbies, of course, we serve up a plate of Spam sticks. But anyway, we like to talk about a nonfiction book first that's new off the truck, new off the press, and then we move into a fiction title, and then I pick up this pile right here and I hurl it towards Boston. So, Steve, I bet you have a nonfiction title for us to start with today.
I do.
Oh no, I don't. Oh, good Lord. I'm already shaking. Go ahead,
I have
sir.
a book called The Art of Winning by former New England Patriots coach Bill Belichick.
Man from your neck of the woods. Trying to keep this
My
folksy.
neck of the woods is not hell.
Okay.
Some of our viewers may remember last summer when my producer and I brought up Melania Trump's book.
Oh, yeah.
Meltdown. I did not know what. It's not a question of me not knowing who the book was for. I often don't know who a book is for. I didn't know what the book was. I had no idea what it was. It was a physical printed object with paper. But anywhere else that you put your foot down on it, you go all the way to the bottom of the Mariana Trench. Was it by Melania Trump? No. Does she know the person who wrote it? No. Does she know English? No. Did she do anything worth writing about? No. Is anyone going to buy it? No. Is anyone going to believe anything that's in it? No. So, just a giant Mobius strip of questions.
I can tell you about Melania Trump, because I get to watch the ratio. They call it the ratio report, where basically you see how many holds are on a book. And when that book came out, it spiked on the hold list, and then it dropped off the fastest I've ever seen a book drop off the hold list in my life.
Some of you may remember that meltdown. Let's just say I have similar questions about The Art of Winning by Bill Belichick. First of all, Bill Belichick couldn't write a sentence of English if his life depended on it, and I kind of wish it did. Bill Belichick is a gigantic, dough-faced, pouty-faced, bot-bellied, cut-your-sweatshirt sleeves lout. He is a lout.
Sorry.
He cannot write English. He did not retire from the New England Patriots in order to sit in his easy chair and ponder his, and this word comes up in this book, philosophy of winning. He didn't do anything like that. He's not capable of doing anything like that. A grizzly bear woken fresh out of hibernation would have a better chance of writing a book. The Art of Hibernation. I don't know who it was who wrote this book for Bill Belichick. I'm 100% sure that they are not still alive, because he would rather end them than pay them. He shares this in common with not only the head of the American Football League, but also his close friend Donald Trump. He is a thug, a moron, a lowbrow, and a fascist.
I did not know that.
Other things.
Those are his good qualities. I did not know Trump and Mr. Belichick were buds.
Not as close as Trump and Tom Brady, but they're close.
Okay. All right.
Well, that's sweet. That would have been, that's a little odd. Okay, I guess if most people had a chance to fly on Trump Air or ogle any of the 10-year-olds, the 10-year-old girls that were on Trump Air, then maybe they might do it. He's a reality TV star, so I guess that's not true anymore. That hasn't been true in a long time. That hasn't been true since kids in cages and 100,000 people dead of a pandemic that could easily have been fixed. It's certainly not true with American citizens and judges being arrested without any trial by unmasked thugs who practically have SS stickers on their back.
Right here in Milwaukee, by the way, right here in Wisconsin.
It isn't any more innocent. If you have affiliations with Hitler, you are a Nazi. But
it's true.
The main collapsing point of this book is not who Bill Belichick associates with. It's what Bill Belichick does. And if Bill Belichick were to actually write a book called The Art of Winning, it would consist of his title, his dedication, which I guess the dedication would be for Muffy, the 11-year-old girl that he's currently dating, who goes to red carpet events with him. Well, it's a red carpet event, but he's wearing a sweatshirt with cut off sleeves, and she's carrying her Powder Puffs little girl purse because she thinks it's really neat, and sometimes she plays with them.
I'm starting not to feel well, Steve, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, if you're starting not to feel well, where was that feeling with her parents when they pimped her out to this monster? That's what I want to know. She went west as soon as they got their $150,000 paycheck.
But he wrote a book.
Sorry, yes, he wrote a book. He wrote a book called The Art of Winning. And after that dedication to Muffy, his own book, The Art of Winning, would consist of one word: cheating.
Yes.
He is widely regarded. He is widely called in sports legend circles as the most winning coach in NFL history. This is true when you rack up the wins and losses. Sure. He is also easily the most cheating coach in NFL history. Easily he is. A corrupt coach usually would, in the course of his career over, North Carolina to New England to you go back to North Carolina, I think it's Chapel Hill now. In the course of their long career, they would have maybe 2, maybe 3 cheating accusations that would have legs that would stick to them.
Right. Yeah.
Bill Belichick has 300 or 400, all of which are well documented, most of which have been filmed. There's a thing: if you're going to be a serial, completely dishonest, fascist cheat, there's a thing you want to have in your corner. And that is the greatest quarterback in the history of the game.
Sure. Yes.
If you have the greatest quarterback in the history of the game, then when your team is losing, despite the fact that you have filmed your opponent's locker, if your team is losing despite that fact because they're mostly morons and you're a moron, well, then it helps if at the last minute in a driving sleet with literally nothing left on the clock, your quarterback saves the day and wins the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And that is the story of a
good story.
The time that Tom Brady did. Oh, wait, Tom Brady did that 5 times. So if you're going to be a lying, beer-swilling, child-stooping, fascist-favoring piece of crap, it helps if your quarterback can do miracles.
Right. It's kind of his familiar. Like if you put it in like vampire terms, Tom Brady sort of, keeps the coffin safe. Very interesting.
Yeah, except that nowhere in Dracula does Count Dracula use profanities. And no one has ever heard Bill Belichick say anything else, except he may off and detox him for The View. He is a horrible, horrible, glowering, knuckle-dragging monster of a human being.
Indeed.
Someone who doesn't even think twice about cheating. If I'm in a situation where I have anything to lose, anything at all, even bragging rights, I will cheat. No matter what. Ice fishing in Michigan. I'll find a way.
It's very hard to do, but that's fun.
Pre-bait your hook.
Yeah, yes, I suppose.
Yeah. or drug your cabinet.
Bring a machine.
Well, I thought I was tighter than I thought. Yeah, well, I got all these things. Oh, they look store bought. No, they're not.
If we deploy a nuke,
yeah,
the fish will.
For the listeners out there who might be tempted to put this thing on a library hold, Bill Belichick has absolutely nothing to teach you about the art of winning. He doesn't know anything about the art of winning. If he had a normal quarterback, even his played-out former legendary quarterback for the New England Patriots, if he hadn't signed on a phenom who was suddenly just freakish, all we would be remembering him for, literally all, would be those 300 cheating scandals. Again, I want to point out several of which were filmed. They aren't just allegations. They aren't just sour grapes from the losing side. They were filmed. They were on audio. We know he did them. Some of them even got names of their own. The scandals were so big, they got names of their own. And we all just collectively choose to forget that. And why? Why is he able to have the effrontery to write a book called The Art of Winning when he's never legitimately won anything his entire career? Why? Because we live in a dark hour. We live in an hour when, as Arthur Conan Doyle put it, the powers of evil are exalted. So if you're the worst piece of crap in the world, you can claim to be, I'm going to write a book called How to Be Not a Piece of Crap.
Right.
If you're the worst, most ignorant, most callous, most facelifted, illegal alien first lady, you can write a book about being a beloved first lady of the United States. Everyone hated you. Everyone hated you. And you don't know the language, and you don't want to learn. And you're also the actual financial property of your husband, which is why you haven't left him. You can't leave him. He owns you.
Exactly. Wow. So how is something happened?
How such a thing writes a book. That's how such a thing writes a book. That's how in 2 years on this show, we're going to be talking about Pam Bondi's book or Christy Nome's book. We talked about Christy Nome's book, and we both said she's finished in politics.
Far from it.
This is the hour of the jackal.
Yeah.
This is the hour of darkness.
That is true.
You are the worst person in the world. You will not only get pardoned,
flourish
from rioting and attacking cops at the U.S. Capitol and smearing your feces on the walls. You'll not only get pardoned for that, but you'll be considered for a position in the administration.
Exactly. It is interesting that these horrible, odious creatures, when they see the behavior of someone like a Belichick, they go, "Ooh, I got to build that one up." It's sort of like, it's just like linking together all of the jackals, as you call them. That seems to be what's happening here. Is a wall of bile.
Yeah. They know each other. They know what each other is. They know they have strength in numbers. So the president of the United States can call up the Baseball Federation and say, "I'd really like you to reinstate Pete Rose."
Sure.
Why?
Yeah.
Why Pete Rose? Why him as opposed to anybody else? Because he was really evil.
Right.
He was wrong because he did something bad. And I want to erase that, or I want to call that good.
Right. It's the psychology there is fascinating in some ways.
Baseball knuckled under. They knuckled under and did it. And when that same president calls them in a year after he's canceled elections and everybody has no questions anymore about what kind of a monster he is, when he calls baseball in a year and says, "I really like you to take that Satchel Paige and Jackie Robinson people, I'd like to take them out of the Hall of Fame."
Yeah.
Again, the reason will be perfectly obvious to everyone. The reason's been perfectly obvious all along, and they'll do it.
Yeah. They just they make a million. It's a death by a million cuts, is what it is, I suppose, of what we are. So, but Bill Belichick,
he does not mention scandals. He mentions how I retired in glory with garlands, with confetti raining down on me, and I retired to my wood-paneled study. I sat back in my easy chair and I got my latest 12-year-old to polish my toenails while I pondered. I stroked my chin. You practically need a team of people just to stroke that much chin. I stroked my chin and thought about the philosophical lessons that I've learned.
Maybe RFK Jr. will invite him to go swimming next week or something. We can hope for the best.
I invite our listeners who don't know, maybe mercifully don't know anything about Bill Belichick, call up audio. Call up a little video on YouTube of him talking.
Yeah.
About anything. It doesn't have to be about the art of winning. Call up a video of him talking about anything and ask yourself, did a book come out of this person?
Yeah. Come out of this person. They consulting ate a taco and a book came out.
This guy doesn't write. He doesn't read. He doesn't ponder. He doesn't think. And he doesn't win. He cheats.
Yeah.
He cheats.
I mean, there's enough people.
Whenever he's given an opportunity, he doesn't have a phenom at his current job, so he has to cheat. I guarantee you that if we had reporters still in this country and they dug into his victories at Chapel Hill, they would find there is cheating. I guarantee that's true. He's built an entire career on it. He would not stop. He doesn't know how to do anything else. He has no imagination, no intuition, no instinct for the game, no feel for the game, almost no awareness of the past of the game. It's embarrassing to listen to him.
There has to be enough NFL commentators, I'm assuming, I don't listen to those kind of shows, but who 50% of them anyway must call him out on everything you're talking about. No.
Not one single one.
Really?
Not one commentator and not one reporter. Not even an ambitious, well, I was going to say not even an ambitious student reporter, but they're easy to kill.
Yeah.
They're easy to have killed.
Wait a minute. What are we doing?
Who knows how many of them got close?
So, of course, we've been talking about Danielle Steele here on the podcast. I'm just a little librarian, Steve.
Right. I know firsthand what those kinds of pressures are. There was once an enterprising reporter for the Daily Iowan who was going to break just such a story on the Hawkeyes' legendary coach, Hayden Fry. And he got a visit from a football player who's about 10 feet tall, roided to his eyeballs, about 5 feet wide. Thing, coach.
Spiked the ball, didn't he? Spiked the ball in the end zone.
No, he reminded that football player who visited him of how many of his teammates had also visited him on slightly different circumstances. So we can write one story here, Bob, or we can write two. Okay.
Nice. You know, sometimes absence of malice.
I never claimed the absence of malice. No, you did not. It is obnoxious that this book exists. It's obnoxious that this book exists. It's loaded with blurbs, of course, from everybody on whom Bill Belichick has dirt. Including Tom Brady, who says, "Oh, this book made a man out of me. It'll make a man out of you too." You practically feel the fear coming off his blurb. Bill Belichick has dirt on people. He doesn't just cheat on the field; he cheats off the field too. He's a horrible, horrible black hole blot of a human being. And he wrote a book called "The Art of Winning," a subject about which he knows nothing at all. Do we think that Muffy with her baked dough Barbie set is with him for his personality? No. It's just a full-blown, rambling, Wild West scandal right in front of our eyes. And because it is the hour of darkness, these people don't feel like they have to hide it anymore.
Yeah, they don't. They really don't. That is true. In fact, they write it clearly. They write a book.
Yeah.
My gosh.
When all Bill Belichick knows about is how to cheat. And he doesn't know how to do that well either, because if he did, there wouldn't be scandals. And
we wouldn't be talking about it. Exactly right.
Exactly right. Do that well either.
How are your peers reviewing this book, may I ask? I'm wondering, like,
this book, he didn't write it. He didn't read it. He didn't live it. It's entirely a lie. No one reviewed the Melania Trump book.
Right.
No one reviewed this thing either. It's ridiculous. Even sports commentators know what they want to say when they bring up this book. They want to say exactly what I've been saying. That this is a monster, the worst human being I've ever met, the worst human being I've ever heard of. I watch Deadwood on HBO and I see Al Swearingen and I think, well, he's no Bill Belichick. They want to say that. They want to talk about Deflategate and whatnot, and they can't do it. They can't do it.
Oh my.
So instead they'll just pass over it in silence, except for the where he calls them and says, I want you to notice my book.
Oh, sure. So, like, it won't be in Kirkus or Publishers Weekly or anything. I mean, whatever. They won't blurb it.
They don't have names on them, and he's not going to care about them anyway. They're right. For the literary world. I believe that Kirkus said that it was mildly unconvincing, something like that. Reviewer speak. You know, most book critics use very padded reviewer speak so that they have wiggle room. You know, just like I do now.
Yes. Yeah, it's amazing. You're being very cagey about how you feel about this book, Steve. And Bill Belichick himself.
Bill Belichick knows nothing at all about winning football games. Nothing at all. Nothing. If you took away his rigged headset, if you took away his hidden microphones, if you took away his little nozzle video cameras buried in piles of towels, if you took away all of that, if you just, I don't want to say stripped him naked, because
that's Muffy's job, right?
that's Muffy's job. Yeah, she's. If you put him just without any artifice at all on a field, coaching a team against Cedarburg's coach.
Yes.
I assume the Cedarburg football team is called the Losers, just to save time.
They have struggles like all of us.
It's a building year. That's what we tell our listeners about this show. It's a building year. I've been saying that for a long time.
Well, building decade, year, sure.
Bill Belichick with a team of ordinary people, all of whom are peaking right now, and they don't know it. If you put him with a team of those people and that guy with a team of those people, that guy would walk all over him. That guy knows more about the art of winning than Bill Belichick does. Wow. Bill Belichick cheated like crazy and had a phenom, had the greatest quarterback in the history of the game.
You know, with Melania and Belichick, it's like somebody somewhere had the idea that these two people need a book. But I suppose you question, as do I, because you're not going to make I don't think you're going to make tons of money off of either of these titles.
Any money. He's not going to make any money.
Or none.
By
anybody
in the audience cheating. He's going to cheat. He's going to game the numbers with his book. He's going to cheat with it. He doesn't know how to do anything else.
It seems very destructive for a publishing house to put something like this out. No?
You know what would make it disgusting, very dangerous for a publishing house to publish something this obviously fraudulent? If there were still readers in the world.
I forgot about that. Sorry.
Well, you're in the business of forgetting about that. So am I. There are only, I would say, conservatively speaking, or no, wildly exaggeratedly speaking, probably 900,000 serious readers in the world.
Here's one of them. Very serious.
I would be a lot longer if it had a camera attached to it.
Yes.
I don't know why we do this. I don't know why we are willing to just take the package and forget the past. We all lived through Melania Trump's first ladyhood.
We sure have, yeah.
It was a downright embarrassment.
Yes.
Talking about the fucking Christmas tree.
Would it say on the back of her jacket, "I don't care," or something like that?
I don't really care.
I don't really care. Yeah, exactly.
And this,
what a statement.
East Slavonian clothes horse had the nerve to say through a spokeswoman, because she can't speak. She had the nerve to say through a spokeswoman, that was something she threw on. She didn't notice what she was wearing. She's never noticed anything else. Never in her entire life.
Hey.
She was modeling for older businessmen in a strip mall in Slovenia. She's never noticed anything else but what she was wearing. We were supposed to believe this one time that she was wearing something that spoke to her psychopathy. Right. It was just a random accident. Maybe she grabbed it from a guest.
Every time someone here at the library hangs a sign on my back that says "Kick me," I know it. So I don't believe that for a second. It happens daily.
Is that a sensitive subject? My poor.
I've already calloused.
I have a whole gross of signs to hang on your back that say "Fire me," but they haven't come in yet.
Oddly enough, "Kick me" is more welcome than "Fire me" at this point.
I don't think I told you. I should wait until we're off camera. I don't think I told you. One of our viewers, who's also one of my viewers, wrote to me and said, for the Patreon, you should invent a rung for the Patreon where a patron gets to fire Jeff.
It's like getting the dunk tank.
Well, she said, I have a job. It's miserable. I hate my boss. I'm sure a lot of people do. It must be very, very cleansing to fire somebody.
How many times in this lifetime can I be fired? I ask you. Well, let's put Bill Belichick to bed.
We don't. No, that's Muffy's job. Oh man, this is not a recommend. Okay?
Doesn't seem to be.
Bill Belichick doesn't know anything about winning football games. Literally nothing. You who are listening know more than he does. All he knows is about how tight the security is in the ops room of his opposition. They're like, a back door there, something we can get through. We have pizza boy that we can bribe or something like that. I don't know.
That officer must be amazing.
When he gets to a new berth as a coach, that's all he thinks about. Not the weaknesses of the team opposing me, but the weaknesses of their headquarters. I need to know what they're saying. I need to tape what they're saying. And if I get caught and if it's leaked to the press, does it matter if 10 years later you have a book called The Art of Winning where it's all about your philosophy of winning?
Right. Oh my. If he had actually been honest, and I know that's a huge if, and just talked about the art of cheating, that would be a fascinating book. That'd be one hell of a book.
If he had decided, you can't have a heart attack unless you have a heart, so he's safe. But if he'd had a heart attack and barely survived it, despite the efforts of his doctors, I assume, and decided to write a book called The Art of Cheating, and just burn the whole New England Patriots show down.
Right.
Well, that would change everything.
Oh,
then
my.
That almost alone by itself would banish the darkness of this hour of darkness. But no one's going to do that. No one is going to do that.
It's a damn shame. I'd read the hell out of that.
The cherished memories that fans of the New England Patriots have are not of Bill Belichick with his cut-off sweatshirt sleeves. No, the cherished memories they have are of Tom Brady. The cherished memories they have are of being at that second Super Bowl, miserable night, streams of fair weather fans on the stairways leaving because there's no way the Patriots can pull it off, and you're sitting there freezing, knowing what's coming, and it came.
Right.
All those losers on the drive home to Gowanus are hearing that they get that once in a lifetime victory. Only it wasn't once in a lifetime.
Right.
Well, all those victories are still true. You can't cheat at that moment. That comes down to supernatural talent.
Sure.
So The Art of Cheating by Bill Belichick would not have hurt those memories.
Yeah. Very much.
Instead, we get The Art of Winning.
Well, folks, it's available for holds and checkout here at the Cedar Republic Library. Get your cards out. And we'll, I'll inform the circulation staff that anybody who checks out gets a brow. And we call that the Steve brow.
Well, if they're Bill Belichick fans, you won't have to worry about that because they'll slip it out a window.
Yeah. Where is our copy anyway? I haven't seen it in a while. Stolen. Oh my. Well, it's a good time now to move on to our fiction title, which certainly could not possibly be any more incendiary than our nonfiction title.
No, our fiction title is by Michael Connolly. Most of your patrons will know him. He's very popular.
They love him.
So he writes a real good book.
Yeah.
His new book is called Nightshade, and it stars Detective Stillwell, who has been semi-banished to the island of Catalina.
How awful for him.
Interesting location. I don't remember a murder mystery or a crime series set on Catalina Island, which is quite nice. Catalina Island is quite nice.
That's right.
Not the 15-foot prehistoric killer monsters that swim all around it. They are not nice. The island is nice, and they haven't found a way to get on the island yet. And of course, as in all, this is the first book in a series. It works really well as the first book in a series. And,
nice.
Of course, Detective Stillwell is a big fish in a small pond, and they always bring trouble with them. So he finds trouble and ends up confronting it. And you know what he doesn't do in the course of the book? Cheat.
Loser.
Instead, in the book, the bad guys cheat. The bad guys cheat. The bad guys cheat. The bad guys kidnap people off the street. The bad guys arrest judges. The bad guys do that, not the good guys.
So obviously this is an amoral book. That's flipped morality, Steve. Oh, man. No wonder fiction's not popular right now because there's good guys and bad guys, and it's very clearly defined.
The writers haven't got the memo.
Man.
I recommend Nightshade. Definitely. As a jumping on point, not only for the series, but also for Michael Connolly. All of you people out there who see how many books he has and don't know if you're going to like his style.
Yeah.
This is a good place to start.
I've read a couple, and I mean, what I remember is he's just lean, mean, highly plotted.
Exactly it's not Tolstoy, but it's he knows exactly what he's doing. He does it really well. Whereas plenty of people in his genre know exactly what they want to do and do it terribly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, fantastic. It'll do well. Connolly always does well. I have people who I always like when they come up with their fresh off the dot matrix printer list of authors they want to read covered, book 1 to book 90, and they plop it in front of me and say, "How many you got?" so that's always fun. And he's one
I
of
might
those.
point out for those patrons, nothing against Michael Connolly. He is a real good writer.
Mhm.
I might point out, if you're going to do a list like that, there are writers you could pick before him.
Sure.
Very much so. The writers who are Lawrence Block is better.
Yeah.
Sure. Reginald Hill is better by far than either of them. And if you want to switch genres, there's always Louis L'Amour.
We have a ton, by the way.
He will never let you down. He never. And I worry that he's fewer and fewer times is he on that dot matrix list.
Hardly ever. And it's again, it's a shame because we have these leather bound. They look like they were pulled out of the Old West books with this gold type. It was the Louis L'Amour collection.
Yes,
probably
love that collection.
And we have almost all of it.
Don't ever de-access those.
I protect them with my life. It's been suggested more than once, and I said only over. He'll pry those out of my cold dead hands.
I'm wondering, is there any chance that you could protect them with something more valuable? I mean, I was quivering in my boots when you said I'll protect them with my life. Well, I guess that's what we've got to work with.
Use that, and if you have a gun too, that's good as well.
Considering the Cedarburg listenership, could you protect them with a box of donuts?
Oh, now them's fighting words. We're gonna go to town.
Yeah, all the new people listening to the show are saying, "I don't get it. Do these people hate each other?"
Every time he threatens my life, it's an act of love.
Let's go with
that. Speaking of act of love, this is what we call the wild card segment of the show, as if it hasn't been wild already, but that's okay. 5 books.
He didn't write the book. He doesn't know anything about the subject.
So I have the Strawberry Patch House. A nice book with lots of sex, I hear. I haven't read it yet. Have you? This series is wackadoodle. It's quaint and small townish, and then all of a sudden everyone takes their clothes off, and Steve is recoiling in horror. How's your feelings about?
I have not read this series. I have not read this book.
I read the first, and it awkwardly straddles the sort of aw shucks gee whiz small town rom-com quaintness with knocking boots.
You're saying it's a raunchy cozy?
It's not a mystery either. It's not a mystery. It's not a mystery either. It's just a slice of life rom-com thing, but then there's more. So
that exact combination did characterize every visit that I've ever made to a small town in Wisconsin.
Our winters are so cold we have to cuddle up. So that's that. Book 3 or 4 in this series, they just keep coming up. It seems like the popularity is waning because it seems like a fine line you have to walk, and I'm not sure what that.
So the series is going flaccid. Is that what you're saying?
Just the readers.
Someone should firm that up. Someone should take that in hand and firm it up.
What do I got here next?
Where did the time go?
You just go through my papers here and shuffle through. Certainly, what's that? A call? I'm getting a call. This I had to grab. I'm curious if you read it. I have not, of course, and it is 8 Very Bad Nights. It's Hanukkah Noir. Who would ever think of such a thing?
Hanukkah Noir. There's some good one-liners in here, but it's not very good.
Okay,
I know it's not meant to be very good. You're supposed to read it with a smile on your face the whole time. But I don't know about our listeners. Probably they're the same boat as I am. That a smile on your face gimmick only goes so far, usually to about page 100 at best.
Yeah,
and then you're stuck with a book.
Yeah,
stuck with a book. Then you reach a point at page 100 where you wonder, okay, but do you have anything else?
Yeah.
Do you have anything else going for you here?
Right.
Terrible feeling when you get there and realize that the author really doesn't, because a lot of our listeners, they shouldn't be. I've instructed them many times, but a lot of our listeners cannot let go of a book. They feel duty bound to finish it.
Yep. Yeah, I have many of those. I tried to counsel them as well and say,
you should not be that way. You should not be that way. If something displeases you for 10 minutes straight,
we're at minute 36.
I know. If a book displeases you, and chapter 2,
oh my goodness gracious. Oh my. Well, that's how. Of all the Jewish holidays that you could ladle on some noir to, Hanukkah seems like the least. I mean, Rosh Hashanah noir I can see, or Purim noir, but Hanukkah is just such a non-event. But that's just coming from a troubled Jewish Midwestern kid. So
the most badass holiday of holy days of any faith.
Yeah.
You go home for a nice little a Jewish holiday, and what does this commemorate? Oh, this is when we killed 10,000 people.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's terrifying. What about this holiday? 50,000 then.
Well, my problem, of course, is all my friends say, well, you're lucky you have Hanukkah because you get 8 days of gifts. And I'm like, 5. We get 5 days. The last 3 days you get like socks. It's not that exciting.
And as one old friend of mine said, it's 5 days of gifts, and boy, do you pay for it.
More latkes? Thanks. Anyway, this book I grabbed solely on the title alone because I knew it would fuel our show. I have no idea what it's a book of essays, but I just thought I've tried being nice. And now Steve's going to try to be nice to Ann Leary, right?
First of all, these aren't essays. Okay. They're stand-up comedy skits. They're not essays. If this person, I don't know Ann Leary from a hole in the wall or a hole in the locker room wall. But if she calls these essays, then she deserves a really raucous visit from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Yeah, she's 12 years old, and she's calling her book a book of essays. No, this is a bunch of stand-up comedy routines about her justifying her being an a-hole. As if you need that. As if you need that in 2025. We are living in the hour of darkness. We are living at a time where the a-hole is justified, and you have to justify not being one.
I love the New York Times review on the back of this. It says, Leary is such a virtuoso. Book clubs, uncork your bottles. It sounds like you need to be inebriated to enjoy so, if that's your thing, we're here for you. We've got it. Last one.
It's dumb and shallow. Much like
Now, this woman I actually liked a little bit and did find her amusing, and I'm not sure about this one though. It's Every Tom, Dick, and Harry by Eleanor Lipman. I liked what I've read of her so far, and I haven't gotten to this yet.
This is wonderful.
Oh, great! Great!
Ellie Lipman never writes a bad book. They are all wonderful.
Excellent. I'm so excited. I mean, I
recommend this author highly enough. Those of you who put those mimeograph sheets, I want to read all of this. Do that for Ellie Lipman. You won't be sorry. You won't be sorry. She's wonderful. I don't know quite what we would call what she's doing. I guess light fiction. A lot of her books have strands in them that are not light.
Yeah. It seems like situation comedy with a little bit of an edge. I mean, it's kind of what Woody Allen used to do with his movies. I mean, years and years and years ago, kind of.
I'm trying to think of an author who's done the same thing. It's been a while. She pretty much has the whole thing to herself, and it's only because she does it so well.
Yeah.
You will have an intelligent, well-written book that is funny, but nevertheless pulls at your heartstrings.
Yeah, yes.
Room for that in our reading still. It shouldn't all be books by complete frauds.
I'm so glad we don't have time to get to this today.
What was that? Wait, what was that? You flashed it up on the screen. And as usual, when you do that, it was over in an instant.
Well, performance issues.
This whole show is one big performance issue.
Well, folks, if you haven't figured it out yet, we're back. And with a vengeance, clearly. And Steve, you were in fine form today. You're exhausted. You need some Ovaltine and a pillow.
He doesn't know anything about the subject. He didn't write a word of the book. It's Melania all over again.
Let's not forget, folks, that the friends of the Cedarburg Public Library, who are not frauds, who are not cheats, who do wonderful things for this very library and even make this show possible, which, hi,
also, one of the friends is very similar to a book we've discussed today, where it's all sweetness and light for the first 2 acts, and then you're knocking boots. And it's not the one you think.
I know who it is. Anyway, email me for details. This is, of course, Books of the Week, signing off from Cedarburg, Wisconsin, and Boston.
I thought certain you were going to say email with age, sex, and location. I thought we'd actually extended that far, but I guess that'll be next time.
Next week. I love ending on a cliffhanger.
That's what he said in his last 4 marriages, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh boy. For those of you who accuse me of giggling too much in the show, today must have been a real treat for you. Okay, it's Books of the Week. And wait, Steve, I'm gonna give you the last word. Go for it. It's all yours.
Lies.